All right, all right. We're now going live. Welcome to Dorsey's Resource Channel. Welcome back, everyone. Greetings. I want to thank you all for joining. The topic of this video is going to be Alex Jones on why the feds are trying to shut down InfoWars is imminent. This is what I wanted to discuss. The topic once again is going to be Alex Jones on why the feds are trying to shut down InfoWars is imminent question mark. I plan on weighing in on this topic. But first, as usual, before we get started, I'm going to give a disclaimer. This video is for educational, entertainment, and informational purposes only. Please understand everyone's individual circumstance or situation may be different. It's up to every competent individual to please do his or her own homework and research regarding the matter being discussed. The information contained herein is not to be construed in any way, shape, or form as legal advice. It is up to every individual competent person to please take care of your own legal situation if you have a problem with the opinions or matter being discussed. Dorsey's Resource is not liable for anyone's misuse of the information. Please keep in mind everyone is responsible for their own commercial affairs. Any images are shown are being used under fair use for teachings, commentary, etc., pursuant to federal law. Now, let's get into this, and all rights reserved. Topic once again is Alex Jones on why the feds are trying to shut down InfoWars is imminent. Uh, I I've been listening to a few people did videos out there, and I don't think they're accurate. By the way, I want to clear up some of the misinformation from it's a lot of disinformation out there. Just because people have large platforms doesn't mean that they're credible. People that don't are not really in the know. The difference, I asked the question to someone, is someone going to really understand or really know if they're not a listener of his show? And they're going to probably be most likely more biased. Well, I'm going to say this up front. I've been a listener for a number of years. I have admitted this in the past, maybe very vaguely, periodically, when I've done videos covering this topic before. I did a video similarly back in 2018, summer of 2018. Believe that was the time frame. And summer of that year, if you all remember, Alex Jones was banned. He was from a bunch of mainstream platforms. He was not allowed. He was completely banned from, which was unheard of, multiple internet web hosting platforms that you could name, all the way to Twitter, until he got his account restored sometime after took a while after Elon Musk purchased Twitter, and they finally decided to restore his account. But back in, if you all remember, I'm gonna jog your memory. This is gonna tie in. I also have some very important information to go over, by the way. Now, a lot of people tell me that know me personally say I speak from the heart, I speak with emotion. I just try to keep it real at the end of the day. You guys, I don't always get it right. You know, I make mistakes, I have my faults, but I'm gonna tell you this: just like in summer of 2018, uh, there's a reason they want Alex Jones out the way. And I may have put, if I put in the title of the video, the deep state, or he said the feds in particular, I refer to them because it doesn't mean when we say deep state, please understand, we're not saying everybody within the government is corrupt. I've said this before as like a disclaimer. I'm not anti-government. I'm anti-corruption. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a realist. I go over facts. You remember the FBI put out a report several years ago, or they actually admitted, remember in the document, they say some conspiracies are true. Always look for, they give you a bone or a way out. But I noticed that they put that in the document. And this is very concerning that what we have coming down the pipeline, because if you pay attention what happened back in 2018, no, a lot of you all don't have a good memory. Some of you all may not even know, but Alex Jones, he was banned off multiple internet platforms. Facebook was another one. It was a lot of platforms. I can't even just remember offhand. I went over it in the past. I actually have a video. If you scroll back on this channel, go and check that video out, and it'll it'll let you know more details in regards to that. By the way, so where are we at? Okay, I have some notes here. Just FYI, like I said, I kind of got thrown off track. Had another radio in the background, in case you're wondering. That was kind of a distraction. I just turned it off a bit. Um, but this is what's going on. Back in 2018, after they banned him, there was midterm elections that were coming up that particular year, similar to how we have a major historical election coming up that's going to set a major precedent, just like the last one major presidential election did. But going back to 2018, you had something called the midterms that involves more so local races between different states. It could be state governors, mayors, Department of Election heads, things of that sort, house races, stuff like that, just to kind of give you all an idea. And I remember after that particular period, there were some people that came in place. Now, I don't have all the details, I don't have all the facts, so I won't say this is something you have to research, but I'm pretty sure there's people out there that are very well studied. But there was an intelligence operation where certain people that I would say went into government positions. I was on a Telegram call and I explained this to some people. There's people within positions of government that actually are deeply connected to the FBI or CIA. And it's the reason why in my previous video, I went over the reason why Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, before he left office, one of his plans was to disband the intelligence agencies. One of the things some people believe that's one of the reasons that led to his death. There was other reasons as well during that time period, very similar to Trump. A lot of people may not be aware of this, but I know this to be a fact. Kennedy was an outsider. He wasn't part of the establishment. If you look at the history, what they said, he was like the first Irish president elected. And during this time period, he only won by a very small margin. And I was actually informed by another close friend of mine who's a historian, who's very, very well studied. I would say more so than myself when it comes to history. One of three friends I can think of in my immediate circle. I haven't spoke to this friend in a while, but he informed me that the mafia or mob back then helped Kennedy win a particular state. And there was other historians that could corroborate this. And they kind of felt, when they found out some of these things, it's believed to be they kind of felt slighted. And it's believed to be, the word is on the streets that I mentioned this before in the past, but you can research it. I mean, look it up thoroughly. But the mafia worked with the United States government and Kennedy's assassination. Worked with the secret. Now let that sink in. Let me say that again. The mafia, if you know them, who they are, the main mafia, Italian mafia, worked with the people who, the deep state of that particular time period that murdered John F. Kennedy. Unfortunately, very amazing. Before my time, before I was born, him and his brother Robert believed they cared about this country. They were outside the establishment. They were not traditional Democrats. Very similarly, even though Trump is with the Republican Party, he is not part of the establishment. Very, very similarly to the Kennedys and John F. Kennedy in particular. Just make a note of that. He was not, and I even got into a debate with some guys on Telegram. Went up against like 3 or 4 people and explained to them why Trump, in my opinion, is not a Freemason. He's not a traveling man. Because I said if he was a Freemason, if he was a traveling man, and he was part of the Illuminati, he would not be getting hit up with all these cases like this. I see the emblems on the back of people's cars. I see the necklaces, the chains and stuff. And I was talking with a friend of mine that this is a taboo subject or a gray area. But if people want to deal with the solution to the problem, you need to bring up what's part of, identify who the enemies are and what the actual problem is itself. Now, let me also say this. I'm not saying that everybody who's part of these organizations means that they're evil or corrupt, but they have been lots of people. Specifically, there's been books that have been written, magazines that have been done, published, mainstream articles. There's people that are pretty known amongst independent media or people who would be classified as conspiracy theorists that know who these particular individuals are that are working for evil, that are called evildoers, that don't have our best interest at heart, that are part of secret societies and different secret societies. Not only just the Masons, you have many other secret societies and high level organizations that go all the way up to the Bilderberg Group, the Trilateral Commission, the Club of Rome, which is connected to the World Economic Forum, the Davos Group based out of Davos, Switzerland. These are the members of the ruling class elite. They do exist. And they have meetings and things just like the Bilderberg meeting I hear allegedly wrapped up in Madrid, Spain this year. Now, normally it would be done in the United States whenever there's a presidential election. But I think they changed that some years back because they never wanted the Bilderberg. It's like the nighttime or silent version of the Davos group. The Davos group of World Economic Forum is like the daylight version of the Bilderberg meeting. Now I know I kind of went off track a bit. I'm going to get back to on why the deep state is trying to shut down InfoWars. But all this ties in with one another. And reason I'm bringing this up so you can connect the dots. You need to connect the pieces. You need to connect the dots because the corporate bought off mainstream media is not going to accurately tell you the truth or bring you the information. I'm somebody who's not funded by George Soros. Would be considered independent media. They took my other YouTube channel down, which affected my monetization. It's funny, they always go after your money, but these same people that claim to be about love and tolerance and all this full of crap. But when you say things that don't go along with the official narrative, by the way, then they target you. Now, where have we seen this before? Numerous times. So just be clear, I'm not an agent. I'm not, because if I was, I'm still punching the clock on top of all that, by the way. But I'm someone who's awake to the truth. I'm a lover of truth, knowledge, information, truth to power, but accurate information. Not just biased information from the corporate mainstream media that's only going to give you information from a one-sided perspective, or they're not going to tell you the other parts of the story. They're going to leave critical components out. When I'm actually a listener about Alex Jones and InfoWars, I have been for a number of years. So you're going to get, I've never met him before, by the way. So you're going to get a fair, balanced perspective, just giving my opinion compared to other big bloggers on YouTube or influencers who've been allowed to keep their channels. They've been allowed to monetize because they're just lapdogs. They're magic Negroes. They go along to get along, or they're boule people. They're bourgeoisie. They are part of secret societies, and they're getting paid to go along with the narrative. So they're not going to give you accurate information. They're going to try to paint a different picture that's going to try to turn people to look at Alex Jones in a negative light. Now, I know he's been labeled these different terms. He's been labeled a conspiracy theorist, a racist, and all these different labels. They want to put labels on you too, because when they can put labels on you, they can control you, and they can put you in categories and just make up stuff about you that isn't even true. And he's interviewed a diverse group of people throughout the years that I follow him, from numerous rappers, hip hop artists, activists, people from other independent media, people that have risked their lives, people that have died sharing the information, actual real life people I can name. Like, for example, Senator Nancy Schaefer, rest in peace. Ted Gunderson, FBI whistleblower, former FBI whistleblower, Ted Gunderson, rest in peace. As I already mentioned, Senator Nancy Schaefer, he interviewed Sherry Peel Jackson out of the Georgia area, former agent, top agent for the IRS. Numerous host of people, pastors, the activist former Black Panther Larry Pinkney, who has a page on Banned.video. I saw a whole list. I mean, the list goes on. Whistleblower doctors, people that are awake to the truth, that are not bought off and paid by the corporate mainstream, or I call lamestream media, by the way. Now let me get into meat and potatoes before I get too far off track. But the title of this video is Alex Jones on why the feds are trying to shut down InfoWars. It's imminent. he was discussing the court case. This is an offshoot from the Sandy Hook situation. And in case you all are not aware, Banned.video is a video web hosting platform that he started. And there's other links. There's madmaxworld.tv, which will take you to the same link. It's another independent web hosting platform. When Alex was banned from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the mainstream platforms in 2018, he started his own platform, video web hosting platform specifically called Banned.video. And that's where you can find out from him if you're patient and you really want the truth and accurate information. Why not hear it from the man himself? And I'm someone who can tell from time to time, being a listener for a number of years now. He puts out a lot of content. I can't keep up with everything. I mean, he has videos that are like hours long of information, but I appreciate it because I know when I check back every now and then to see what's in the know, I know his information is accurate. But one of the things, they want him out the way, the deep state, the very bad, evil people behind the curtain who like to anonymity, that some of them, they have their minions and underlinks that take orders from them at levels below them. Understand that. I call them gatekeepers as well, but they're also known as minions, underlinks, that are gatekeepers for the corporate establishment media, some of them, and some of them are connected, just like politicians are connected to the alphabet agencies. I just recently found out, now this alleged, but based on what has been reported, there has been people in the independent media that were approached by these people behind the curtain, offered them billions of dollars to slander Alex Jones's name, but keep misinfo or mix some truth in with disinfo to discredit, to as basically to help act as shields, to help take him down, to take the whole, because he's pretty much like an unofficial activist. It's like a humanitarian mission. He's genuine from what I've seen for a number of years. His products do work, for contrary to popular belief. I have bought a list of his products throughout the years, as well as I've supported other people, and even at retail stores, stuff that I think is healthy for you. Not just products I've purchased at Better Health, but his products do actually work, and I have used them. Some of them, well, quite a bit. I haven't purchased some of his newer products. I haven't had the opportunity. I would like in the near future, hopefully, but I have. I just want to put that on a side note because there's people that try to also use that to say make up stuff and say his products are poison, or when he was getting bad reviews on Amazon, I found out what people were doing. Allegedly, the people or the cabal that didn't like him, they would buy his actual product and they would take something out of it and they would taint it with something and claim it came from Infowars, when they actually bought the actual product itself, put something in it, and then claimed it came from him. Like, just like, hoaxes, like, the Jussie Smollett incident. There's a lot of that goes on, despite real stuff that I acknowledge. There's real things that happen. There's a lot of hoaxes that have taken place as well, but the mainstream media won't talk about that. They treat everything as though it's supposed to be. When it comes to the things like Jussie Smollett, remember, they were believing that, and they treat a lot of the stuff like it's legitimate. Not saying some instances those situations could be, but they don't like to talk about the other side of that situation. If you flip the coin, if you know what I mean, they don't tell you, or when it is a hoax, they don't report on it or say I'm sorry when they've made a mistake and they find out that something is a hoax or not. But he does report accurate information. What I've done, I've researched the articles that he shows when you watch his video web hosting platform versus when people or listeners were able to listen to him on the radio, where he was syndicated amongst different parts of the country. I'm not fully aware of that, but I did hear him mention that some people didn't have access to his video web hosting platform, so they were not aware that he had would show like the different articles that he's reading from. He, his staff members, I guess, or he himself prints them up and shows you which websites, if they're either mainstream or trickle down below. You know how you have a lot of
internet, actual news reporting sites like the London Guardian, the Daily Mail, even things that are admitted by the mainstream. If it's the New York Times or something they said, he's pointing out a particular topic, he does or will show you the actual articles of where he cites his sources. Just like if you've ever done a research paper in college or high school and you have to cite your sources, what specific pages, what magazine that it comes from. Because I hear people all the time try to say he's fake news, and it's not. I've seen things that he's talked about come accurately, come true, come to pass. And I'm seeing things unfolding. And this video was going to be like a warning, by the way, that they want him off the way because the evil deep state criminal cabal, in my opinion, because they're planning something very evil. One of the things we know they're planning, I'm going to go over World War III. Just I'm getting word in another discipline that I study separately from this type of information. I've got word that it's young men that are receiving selective service notifications. And I was informed of that a while ago, that there's young men out there that are receiving selective service notifications, by the way. Just real quick, I'm acknowledge I see someone in the chat. Wendy Adams says, "Hi, greetings to you. Thank you for joining, Wendy. Appreciate you if you're still watching." But one of the things they're planning, he listed a number of things. The deep state they have in their cards doesn't mean we don't know exactly, but we believe some of these things are imminent. By the way, that's why I put in the title, they want InfoWars shut down imminently. He mentions a date later this month, even though he told the security guards the other day he was going over to court the legal information. But he said what they're going to do, they're going to try to transfer it to another judge. They started attacking the judge because the judge gave him a stay or whatever, was in favor for right now, a window of opportunity where God has given him favor. But he knows they're going to try to, the deep state, they're going to transfer it to a different county. He kind of knows the play by play. And it's coming a time where you need to be very concerned. This is very, very serious. Not only is World War III on the horizon, but they may cancel the 2024 election. They know that despite all the cheating and things that they did before, they don't want to risk it, that they may try to pull something. Not saying that we know this is going to happen for sure. I've heard this from some other people. It's a good chance the 2024 election could be canceled, by the way, because they already know that even despite the cheating and things, they don't have enough dead people and other things to overcome that. Trump will still win in a landslide. Will still win. Well, I say overall, despite they're also planning power outages, food shortages. That's already occurring. You know, if you've heard about agriculture farms where animals were under attack, or just or Tyson food factory plant. You notice, you think those incidences that you hear about, just putting it out there, you think that those situations are a coincidence. I'm just putting it out there, something to think about. Cyber attacks, by the way. Notice, which I think, in my opinion, it seems like, who has the time to do this stuff? I keep hearing about this particular group that attacks these different things where there's data breaches, and I've always felt that seems like that's the deep state, or that's the government. That's a form of a false flag, because they have a specific name called, I think, called ransomware or something like that. It seems like these are some bad guys or people they've hired that are independent contractors that work for the government that are doing this stuff. They're called ransomware or something like that. I always hear say they know the name and everything, and then the mainstream media reports and say this is who was responsible. Question that. Question who's behind that, who's running that at the very top. This whole ransomware thing. Just saying, use critical thinking, which I always encourage. By the way, what else? False flag attacks, which that ties in with. They also planning a new disease X virus. They're planning new lockdowns. Yes, this is not a joke. So if you see this down the road, whether it's 6 months or less than that, just know that's in their ace of spades. That's in their deck of cards as well. They're planning another disease X virus lockdowns. And lastly, Russia has said that they will retaliate with nuclear weapons because the U.S. Has come out, has, of course, has been aiding Ukraine and other countries, and Russia just gave a warning that they're about to strike some countries or in Poland, and they advised the Polish citizens to get out of these particular regions. I think these particular regions, they're already aware that they have nuclear weapons or something, and they're preemptively given a warning. And they said to the U.S. as well down the road. Uh, I don't remember all the details, but if you go to Banned.video, one thing Alex breaks down with his staff and also other independent media that's partnered with Banned.video, they go over a lot of that information, folks. So I'm just saying, I don't remember all of the details, but I'm just going over vaguely the important points. So they're planning World War III is imminent. The elites love wars. I've heard at some of the Bilderberg meetings, they say, "Yeah, big war. We want war because war is big money. You have war bonds and bloodshed accomplishes population reduction. So the globalists, the ruling class criminal syndicate, they love wars. So World War III is planned. Evidence of that is young men. I got word in my other discipline that I study are receiving selective service notifications. That is occurring. I even hear Alex Jones did a separate report and a separate video. They're talking about making it mandatory as soon as young men turn 18 that the streamroll that particular process, however it works now. I remember being signed up for that some years ago when I got it in the mail. My mother told me what it was. I had no idea what the hell that was for, what it was, and she just brushed it off. But now I know. And had I had control, would have been totally independent as an adult, I wouldn't have signed up for that. By the way, just like I got rid of my voter registration because that is a form of an adhesion contract. By the way, it's the difference between registration versus recording, but that's a whole nother class that deals with equity versus statutory. So, but they're planning power outages, food shortages, cyber attacks, false flag attacks are imminent. Disease X and new virus lockdowns are being planned. And Russia has said they will retaliate. And so you're seeing intercontinental ballistic nuclear warfare, unfortunately, is on the horizon. And many of the globalists, they had already been building underground bunkers. Jones said some years ago, prior to all of this, some of them are already at their bunkers. It's rumored allegedly that contractors leaked out engineers that they were building a bunker in Hawaii for Mark Zuckerberg that goes under the water. Some type of you may have seen reports on it. You can look it up. It may be public online if you know how to research it or type it in the search engine. You may be able to find it. I'm not sure. I haven't looked it up. I did see the news story that Banned.video did, a couple stories, and I may have saw another independent media I can't think of that covered the story, that did a story about Mark Zuckerberg having an underground facility, underground bunker, by the way. So just keep that in mind. Just be careful. Watch your six out here. They want him out the way for a reason, folks. So this video, consider this like a warning. If you get a chance, you want to go support his products. If you are a listener, go to Banned.video. He said now's the time to get dialed in because they're planning something big. And what they did after they got him out the way, I saw in 2018, the reason I brought that up is they cheated different elections. They put in intelligence politicians who had connections to the intelligence agencies. I won't go over the names because I don't have them necessarily offhand, but I saw the reports. I actually read the bios of these people when I went on Wikipedia and I read their background. I saw what they were into, what their politics was. And then unfortunately, an intelligence agency, and I just found out recently, Trump's Attorney General William Barr shut down the voter fraud investigation. So he had Obama, before Obama left office, Obama put in what was called a stay behind network to sabotage Trump's agenda with his own politician. Never before has a president done this on such an unprecedented level like this. Obama put in, let me say that again, was called a stay behind network of people who are part of the deep state criminal cabal, that are part of secret societies, deeply tied in establishment neocons. You know, neoconservatives are actually Democrats. Many of them are Democrats in disguise. They're warmongers. Rhinos are just Republican in name only. Those are the ones when people say, oh, Dorsey, Republicans and Democrats are two heads of the same snake. Notice I'm giving you a distinction between the two. I'm laying a distinction. That's different from the Freedom Caucus. That's totally separate. That's not the same. So there is differences, and people don't talk about different political parties. It's like they don't know the difference between libertarians. You know, you have the Green Party. You have independent, just straight independent. You have different classifications. You have moderate conservatives. You even have moderate Democrats, by the way. So you've got a lot of different positions. People need to go take a class in political science and understand, but they box you into these categories. I do get that, but just going over the information, Obama put in a stay behind network, and that's why Trump couldn't get a lot of the things what he tried to do was sabotaged, by the way. And he was pulling the troops out. If you're wondering what were the things that he had done, he increased the funding for historically black college universities. He was pulling the troops out. He didn't have us in wars like all the other previous presidents. If you look at the track record, look at the accuracy, what wars that he bombing that situation, he was put up to that particular situation. But overall, majority of his presidency, he was pulling the troops out of the places they were. And it's been stated that what's going on now wouldn't be going on if he was in office, by the way, even though they try to paint a picture that he's the opposite, because people that hate him won't give you an accurate description. And there's more things that he did, by the way. I think what we need to do, we need to gather our notes and we need to compare all the things that Trump did in comparison to what Obama did. Unemployment was at an all-time low before the pandemic was brought in. We know Klaus Schwab admitted that said Trump is going to have to deal with a pandemic, which the World Economic Forum, and Klaus Schwab is a high-level member. He just stepped down to a lower position, I heard recently. But he mentioned that if you know who these people are, I told you guys, look up Yuval Noah Harari, look up Klaus Schwab, look up what their books are, what their agenda is. They're heavily connected, tied in with the criminal elite, the criminal global syndicate. This is a fact, but you got to research it, which I encourage you guys to do. Do your own homework. Despite I did give a disclaimer, these are my opinions, but I am very well studied when it comes to the Illuminati and knowing the ruling class elite and trying to help you distinguish and look up the documentaries that have been done. Look up Alex Jones's documentary called Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement. Look up Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement. A lot of things talked about in that documentary is coming to pass. It's unfolding as we speak right now. That information is coming about. If you compare it to what he talked about back then, it's happening now. He's did many other documentaries where he was warning of this. The police state. He even did a documentary called Police State. It has several of them that a police state was coming. And, you know, you really look back and what he warned us about, you will see the accuracy as far as the technology that we have now. I remember back in the 90s, a relative taking me to a New World Order conference in Allen, Lincoln Park, Michigan, in October of 1996, by the way. Remember, a former FBI agent, Terry Cook, autographed the book that was purchased for me from my relative, by the way. And they talked about some of these things. So I've been dialed in. I've been knowing about the New World Order, the one world government, for a very long time, by the way. So just keep that in mind. These things are actually real. These false flags, just be on the lookout, can be potentially imminent. But remember, they have a list of cards they can pull when it comes, when we just, false flag is just a general term that can be school shootings. It can be, they plan on bombing mosques, churches, schools, stuff like that. But be looking, he gave a breakdown in a particular video sometime before, potentially before the election. And a lot of these college protests, I found out, I had no idea, are being funded by George Soros By the way, I don't know if they're using Open Society Foundation. That's one of his websites. But I'm hearing the State Department uses Soros as a front, by the way, which I didn't know that. Very interesting. So it makes them look clean. And then, Obama is behind the scenes. He's controlling Biden. Remember, they admitted that Obama helped built a mansion or moved at right down the street from the White House after Trump took office, by the way, as like a command center when he put his stay behind network in place. This was reported on. He had lived down the street from there. And I remember when that was brought up. And some of the crimes, why haven't we heard more about the money laundering in Ukraine, the Hunter Biden laptop, more about that situation with the drugs, the guns, the tax evasion. Why haven't we heard about some of these things? Or the campaign violation Obama committed over $200,000 that he even admitted, said he was wrong about. But he's squeaky clean. Notice how these people who are part of the deep state, the criminal cabal network, that are part of members of fraternal sororities, fraternal organizations. Why are they not being brought to justice for their crimes they've committed? In some instances, far worse. But Trump is being scrutinized for these things, from a misdemeanor being turned into a felony. But these other crimes, you had Obama claims he had a scandal-free presidency. What happened with Fusion GPS? What happened when he surveilled the Trump campaign? That was a major crime. Remember, one of the intelligence agents was James Clapper or Michael Hayden admitted, told Trump that, Obama spied on you. Former head of national security, Michael Hayden. And you had James Clapper. Then I believe Brennan, John Brennan was over the CIA. These guys admitted. Remember, Clapper said it was Obama's idea to when he violated the FISA warrant. He didn't have a legitimate warrant. They said it's highly illegal, was highly criminal, admitted by one of his own, because they're deep state. They won't prosecute each other, as I was pointing out to a friend. A fellow Mason, a Masonic brother, feels he wants to protect his other corrupt brother. But notice I'm pointing this out. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying all Masons are evil. I have a friend that's a traveling man, and he's an honorable individual that has integrity. It's rare to find people like that, but a lot of people are bought, including Eastern Stars. They're bought, they're players, they're sold, they've sold their soul. They don't have integrity. I know people, there's not a lot out there that do. Not saying that all these people are perfect, but there's some people that are deeply, heavily tied in with the deep state. And I'm just pointing this out. That's why I use these examples to say, why isn't the mainstream media cover that? But they blow everything Trump does. They blow it way out of proportion. But these other people have been part of scandals. What happened when Obama also had the scandal where he targeted Dr. Ben Carson? Remember, Dr. Ben Carson admitted that Obama's White House called him, contacted his home, and threatened. They didn't like his comments when he mentioned at the prayer breakfast years ago, when he was mentioning about the Affordable Care Act and how you can fix it. And I remember Obama was frowning at that event when Dr. Ben Carson started going over actual viable solution that will work. And they said they didn't like it. And he says he got a call, and then his organizations, people in the mainstream, didn't find out about this because our corporate media won't report on this, that he was targeted as a result. His foundation, his nonprofit organizations, it was called the Lois Lerner scandal. Members of the Tea Party, other groups. That's illegal for a president in sitting office at the time to target innocent Americans. Then you had the whistleblower Eric Snowden admitted it was illegal for Obama. He admitted it was Obama that ordered during that time separate incidents, illegal surveillance of Americans. I saw a local news story on Fox 2 News with Hugh Perkins. That was a news anchor for Fox 2 News Detroit some years ago when I was having my car worked on at a shop. And they said that the NSA surveillance that came out, that Eric Snowden, he worked as a contractor and leaked this information out, that was illegal and it was unconstitutional. But why were they still doing it if it was unconstitutional? Why weren't these people punished? And Obama was the head of that. You see how serious of a crime that is? Think about it. Think about it. But compared to all the other stuff, if you're going to be honest and you're going to say Trump is a bad guy, and I pointed out all these crimes that was committed with Obama, Hillary, and all these people, and Biden. But Trump is the bad guy. He's the big bad boogeyman. But all these other people I named, oh, they're just scot free. All the stuff, and it's more stuff, folks. There's other people that can go, especially Banned.video. They can go more in depth and bring up other things. Like, I want to know once again about the money laundering in Ukraine. I want to know about the secret bioweapons labs that members of our Congress and congressional people know about, but the mainstream media was trying to say it was a baseless conspiracy theory. When there used to be a map you used to be able to pull up online before Google scrubbed it. They don't want you to know about the bioweapons labs that Putin talked about. Yeah, they had, and he was mentioning in Ukraine, the U.S. Had control, and they have these labs in other different parts of the world. But why would Google remove the images so you can't search it online? Think about it. So you can't find the evidence. Why would they scrub that? Because they want to control the narrative. They want to brainwash you. Don't trust MSNBC. Don't trust CNN. They're not going to report the full information. That's the corporate mainstream media. They're going to be biased, folks. Understand that. So I just laid out a lot of evidence. You can research scandals that have happened, that Obama claims he had a scandal-free presidency. That is not true. Sheriff Joe Arpaio out west worked with forensic artists, lawyers, law enforcement agents when he investigated with dealing with that birther scandal, which actually came from Hillary Clinton and John McCain's campaign for that. By the way, it didn't come from Trump originally, as reported in mainstream media. That birther scandal originally, John McCain and Hillary Clinton's camp paid former national security agent Wayne Madsen to get the information in regards to that. By the way, Sheriff Joe Arpaio initiated a separate forensic investigation in regards to that. That's how we found out, because we didn't know who Obama was. Remember, he had a previous name, Barry Soetoro. He was an implant. He was an op. Some of this information I'm revealing for the first time. Some of it is in a documentary that was done. I can't remember the name of it. You have to research it. I don't know if InfoWars still sells it, but they sold it at one time. But there's a guy, and there's other people you look up who his actual biological father is, Frank Marshall Davis, that broke down his biological father and what happened with his who his biological mother is, and what happened. You will understand the whole situation, and how Obama was also connected to Zygmunt Brzezinski, who's deceased, rest in peace. Zygmunt Brzezinski was a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, by the way. Obama was connected to Zygmunt Brzezinski. If you know more about Zygmunt Brzezinski, he trained Osama bin Laden, whose code name was Tim Osman, years ago, back in the 80s. Remember the CIA, I learned this from a friend of mine that had a secret security clearance. I'm going to say in one of the branches of the military. I had no idea of this originally, that America, there's something called a School of Americas where they train dictators or leaders. Like I hear Gaddafi, before he turned good and wanted to start asset-backed currency for Africa, he was part of the their network. They trained him. Just like General Mao Zedong in China went to Harvard. He was trained. See, they use the intelligence agencies you think are supposed to protect us from foreign invaders, when they're actually, there's bad cabal people that are playing a game like chess behind the scenes with the entire world. To kind of give you all an idea, intelligence agencies are linked worldwide. Like you have MI5, MI6 in England. That's the equivalent of their FBI, CIA. You have the Russian KGB. I hear even before Putin took office, he was in Germany originally with Angela Merkel. He started off as an intelligence officer in Germany. By the way, Germany used to be strong allies until the war. Some things happened based on some of the agreements and things that they had. But I guess they're members of NATO. So, you know, if you're part of NATO, then you have to go against the, Russia. You have to be part of the narrative, pretty much. And Ukraine was formerly part of the Soviet Union, by the way. So I don't know why they didn't listen, that Russia overall had more might, more power, but they also don't tell you about the corruption that was going on there from certain politicians. We're not hearing about, once again, the accounts of money that was being laundered. And they said Obama had to know about it as sitting president based on his position, what was going on with Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden with those accounts in Ukraine. I'll just leave it at that, by the way. But I just pointed out there's a lot of stuff I went over. Let me see. So in the meantime, before I shut the video down, I'm going to acknowledge you guys, you all in the chat section. Wednesday said, I had to take a call and I missed a lot. That's no problem. You can always come back and watch the replay. Wednesday Adams says, some people believe the Black Swan event will be Sunday. Okay, I have no idea what the Black Swan event is. I've been hearing Bo Pony talk about it. Oh, also, when I went over the different potential false flag events, there also, Alex Jones mentioned financial collapse. I forgot to put that in my notes. That not only are they planning World War III is most likely imminent, because there's already young men that have been receiving selective service notifications. We know this to be a fact. So mainstream media can't try to cover. They can say whatever, but people in the know what's going on. That actually, there's been reported that young men out there already have been receiving selective service notifications, and it's been put when I heard them a while ago, or last year, or the year before, talk about a mandatory draft coming back, just being put out there. I saw what time it was, but they're also maybe planning a financial collapse. He said it's in the cards. They may cancel the 2024 election. Power outages are part of this. Also, EMP strikes. I'm hearing that could be in their deck of cards, where the deep state has a list of tricks up their sleeve, and they can blame a manufactured EMP strike on Russia. That's something they can use, and they can say, yeah, the Russians were behind it. EMP, look up the Carrington event or what an EMP strike is. That will affect your electronic devices and stuff. Similar to a power outage, but not exactly the same. By the way, they're also talking about disease X. They want lockdown. They want a new virus lockdowns. They are actually planning this. So by them wanting Alex Jones out the way, this is why they're planning something big, folks. They want him out the way. This is a red alert, emergency warning. They want World War III. They may cancel the 2024 election. Power outages could be potentially imminent. Food shortages, financial collapse, financial crisis, cyber attacks, false flag attacks are imminent. New disease X virus lockdowns. They want to bring in the globalists. Love that. They love the lockdowns. They want to bring those back. Russia has said they want to retaliate with nuclear weapons. So we could be potentially facing intercontinental ballistic nuclear. God forbid. I say God forbid, but that does appear based on these strikes, and if things are heating up in Europe, and if you have your eyeglasses on and you're paying attention what's happening overseas, and I just mentioned to you guys, the globalists, some of them already have underground bunkers. By the way, Jones did a video just to give you guys a heads up. If you guys want me to email it to you, let me know. I plan on. There was a really important video where he gives like a really good breakdown of what is being planned imminently, that you need to be very mindful of, folks. There's reason why they really want him out the way, because they're saying that one lady did a video saying, oh, Alex Jones was crying to try to make it seem like that was going to be his last broadcast. No, they're really trying to shut him down, folks. I'm a listener. I've been a listener. So somebody who's been a listener, I'm dialed in. I'm not just somebody that's reporting on information for views, because this lady already has over 100-something thousand views as a puppet, and people just put out stuff just because they're getting YouTube monetization. They're getting paid. But I'm giving you guys a real warning. No, the feds, they really are trying to shut down Infowars, his studio in Austin, Texas, and it's imminent. It's not a joke. And he had the video where there was an undercover person went in. It's video footage on Banned.video that showed the FBI agent that admitted they created the whole Sandy Hook thing to go after his money and take him down. That was all planned, folks. This is not conspiracy theory anymore. This is a fact. This was on, go to Banned.video. You have to scroll back maybe a little over a month or 2 ago. It may take you a while. Or madmaxworld.tv. Scroll all the way back. There was a video where an intelligence officer was recorded undercover. I don't know if he was aware of it at the time. I don't think he would have been. He wouldn't have said probably what he said. Similar to what James O'Keefe with Project Veritas would do, but this was somebody else. I don't know who, but I just know I saw the video footage where they interviewed this intelligence officer, and he mentioned Alex Jones was brought up, and they mentioned why they wanted to go after his money, and they created the whole Sandy Hook thing. This is a fact now, so I can say this confidently. This has come out. And Alex Jones does plan on suing after that. I think he's gonna, once he gets things together, I think I heard him mention he's gonna be filing a suit. Well, it's hard going against the government, but you have these criminal, corrupt people. He's got the video footage. It's on there, folks. I saw it. My friend of mine, good friend of mine, found out about it. I was surprised that he found out about it, by the way. So they're planning World War III. Young men are already receiving selective service notifications. They may cancel the 2024 election. Power outages, food shortages, cyber attacks, false flag attacks are imminent. New disease, X-virus lockdowns. They want to bring the lockdowns back. That's one of their ace of spades or tricks up their sleeve. They have many tricks. I'm not saying, I don't know exactly in what order, but these are things they're planning. So if you know of any of these things that I'm going over, you see that take place, just know you heard it here first. And if you see that while they shut Alex Jones down, that's why, because they're bringing this in. The deep state has a list of tricks up their sleeve. Once again, they can blame a manufactured EMP strike on Russia. They can say the Russians did it. They're behind a lot of this, the criminal, corrupt activities that they're planning. By the way, this is why they're trying to shut InfoWars down. They know Alex Jones has a big following. He has a big voice. And I know with Jordan Maxwell, rest in peace to the Godfather, Jordan Maxwell from years ago. Those who are aware, he studied astrotheology and broke things down. He contributed to the sovereign movement a lot. He died a year or two ago. I can't remember exactly. He mentioned he was approached by the intelligence agencies many years ago, and they told him, they said, if you ever get too big, we're going to do something about it. Let me tell you, folks, Alex Jones is already huge, has a huge following worldwide. So he's on their target. And this was right after they hit Trump with the 34 charges, the made up stuff where they turned a misdemeanor into a felony, 34 counts. Never heard of, and I just went over a lot of the crimes that were committed by these other individuals, but you don't hear like they're being protected by people behind the curtain. Mighty funny. And they committed some very serious criminal activities, very far worse than what Trump has done. And he's being targeted. And then right after that, you're seeing what this getting ready to happen, what they're attempting to do with Alex Jones. He said it's only a matter of days. He's admitting. He says they're going to try to transfer. They're even going after the judge that gave him favor recently. They gave him a break. He said they're going to try to transfer it out of another county. This is really real. And he has the video footage of that intelligence officer admitting on tape. He's also trying to he's contemplating, trying to get the word out correctly, whether he should move his family out of Austin, because he's dialed in. He said he doesn't want to give up, but he's coming. If you guys know about what happened years ago with William Cooper, that wrote the book Behold the Pill, the White Horse, or Bill Cooper, a former naval intelligence officer. Alex Jones knows what they've done to other people they've killed, and he knows he's in imminent danger, as well as other top conservatives or people who are allies or getting that have powerful voices that can reach the masses. It's coming that time. He actually gives a calculated time frame in a previous video I discovered. It was uploaded on Banned.video May 3rd. I don't remember the title, but if you guys want me to email it to you, just shoot me an email and let me know. I will send out a mass email, and I learned how to do blind carbon copy, so I can hide other people's emails. So whoever I email it to, nobody will see the other person's email, because people did complain to me in the past. I don't spam people or nothing like that when I send emails out, but I know how to do blind carbon copy when there's something serious and there's something important. If you guys just let me know if you guys want me to send you that, because this is a video that I'm even trying to get the word out to even some of my family members that are liberal, that are heavily on the Democrat side, that voted for Joe Biden and everything, that are brainwashed, that are plugged into the matrix, that don't even know when you give in, folks, it makes things worse. It doesn't make things better. There's things we can do to lawfully stop this, but we're really deep in the creek. The water is coming up towards, we're in the ocean, well, part of now. We're still in the shallow part, but it's getting where you're walking towards the deep end, or you're trying to pull yourself back, and you feel those undercurrents trying to pull you to where the deep part is. And we're just trying to send a warning out that you need to back up, and we can still stop this. So if you guys you got to let me know. But I do plan on this particular video. He breaks it down much better in a more articulate fashion, and he mentions, gives you kind of like a timeline, and talks about like the what do you call, protests that have been happening at the colleges. They're being funded, and they want to have where Biden can declare a civil emergency as a cover, because they've done the analytics already, and they know that Trump. Remember, they even admitting in the polls that Trump is winning was significantly. And a lot of the polls, you go back a while ago, of course. Now I can't say about today or the currently right now at this exact moment, but recently I saw numerous reports, and I was like, wow. And I've seen masses, crowds of people they've tried to cover up that are massively in support of Trump. That the mainstream media that's very biased, the corporate media, let me say, the corporate lamestream media that's very biased, won't show you the real images or the amount of people, supporters that he has at his rallies and events. And so many people, former NFL players that are coming out in support. It scares the deep state and the numbers of black people or minorities that support them, that they don't want you to know about. It scares them, folks. They don't want you to know this. So he gives you a timeline that's very significant, and this is tied in with some things so you can kind of get prepared. I said prepare for the worst, hope for the best, because it's going down, ladies and gentlemen. And we're just trying to. I don't work for Infowars. I've never met Alex Jones before, but this is a major warning. And you guys know I haven't been doing videos, so I wouldn't be going live unless it was something serious, unless it was something important lately. I'm trying to warn you guys about. This is not no joke. So just understand that I'm gonna read the rest of the comments, and I'm gonna shut things down. Plan on it. Wednesday Adams says St. Petersburg International Economic Forum this week. Okay, wow, interesting. Wednesday says Russia and BRICS will take us down by destroying the dollar. Yes, I've heard about that. I have heard about the alliance that they're planning on with the banking system, the changeover. Yes, that is part of it. By the way, ROC says Alex Jones just posted they're trying to shot his channel. Well, you mean shut his channel down? Yes, they are. That is real. Is he mentioned more details from people. See, people that are reporting on it, you can't trust everyone on YouTube that's just trying to get clickbait views and stuff. Because I'm an actual listener, and they're not going to really listen through his videos or the real information because they don't like him. A lot of people are just trying to get views through clickbait, put his name in there because they know it's going to get them several thousand views. Their channel is monetized, and yeah, so they're not going to accurately tell you. But for example, he went into the details of what the security guards did, by the way, and what his lawyers told him. He got a call, had to let him know that they didn't have full authority yet, but the judge granted him like a stay or something like that. And he said they were even attacking the judge as a result, because the other side, the plaintiffs, I guess they have some stuff. It's got to go through a process. But he said he gave a date, and it's a procedure that they're trying to go through. But they really are trying to shut his show down. So it could be any day. Even though he did that broadcast, that was just the one he broke down. I've seen him cry before, folks. He's passionate. That's not nothing new. People trying to make fun of him and say, "Oh, see what goes around." No, he's a passionate guy. And many of his older shows, folks, if you all are not listeners, a lot of you are corny people trying to say that's karma. What goes around comes around. No, folks, he's passionate about his mission, what he's done, and even shows prior in the past, even on covering certain topics with where he's exposed with former FBI agent Ted Gunderson, that exposed the original Pizzagate with the child sex trafficking things. He's cried about things like that, about children being kidnapped and stuff. He's really concerned and passionate about things like that. So that's not the only time Alex Jones has broken down crying, folks. So you all think this is cool. Some of you all think that's funny, because I know it's people out there that don't like him. But since I'm a listener, I'm letting you guys know the difference. I can see from my perspective, in my opinion, his passion that he has. It's not arrogance and things of that sort. He's very passionate. He has compassion in his heart. He's even mentioned when he's given to the Salvation Army. And I'll admit, like, when I see homeless people, sometimes people that beg for me money, if they look like an able-bodied person, I don't give them nothing. Plus, in my opinion, I feel like you can be funding that person's potential drug habit or whatever. But Alex is really giving. He has a heart for people, I would say in a different capacity, a different way. He wants to wake up and inform people, and he's told those testimonials, those actual stories. I'm saying versus somebody like myself, by the way. So just giving the real from someone who's an actual listener, and just keep in mind, once again, people who don't really listen to him, especially in the corporate mainstream media, they're going to be very biased. You're not going to get a totally fair, honest perspective, but you're going to get another perspective from someone who actually listens to a show every now and then. I've been a long time listener for over a number of years. I purchased many of his products before. I admit his products do work once again for me. I did a review in one video. I may do one down the road again of different products I purchased that have helped me tremendously, by the way, because that was another thing people I said try to use. Like BuzzFeed did an article something some years ago where they tried to say his products didn't work, this, that, and the other. But actual reviews from listeners and people that you can actually find has very positive reviews and high ratings that are accurate, by the way. That, of course, the deep state has tried to sabotage that. He explained that situation would happen with one particular group that handled his comment reviews or whatever. They did something to try to take it away or discredit him. They pull a lot of tricks, folks, just like they do with Trump, to take any type of credit away from him, to keep him his image, to try to tear his image up. But I'm telling you, for someone who's an actual listener, his products do actually work. For me, as a guy, many different supplements I've purchased and things of that, they've helped me tremendously. And I forget to take them. I don't take them necessarily all the time. I had to remind myself. But very recently, like his one of his multivitamins, the newer one that has like the red beet in it or whatever, that was added. I had the original one and I had the newer one. It works tremendously. It's good for like the type of job that I do. Helps keep me going. Very good multivitamin and other supplements. So I just wanted to put that out there, by the way. On a side note, says Moritz06 says, good to see you. Good to see your lives are becoming more frequent. Thank you. I'll try. But this was kind of I felt imminent warning. Wednesday Adams says, because Google is run by DARPA. By the way, very interesting. I wouldn't be surprised. By the way, Wednesday Adams says, I don't want to get your channel in trouble. Oh no, don't worry. This channel was connected to the one that was already banned, so that's why I'm not worried about this one. But go to my newer channel. It should be at Dorsey's Resource 873.
Make sure you head over there and subscribe at Dorsey's Resource 873. Even though I haven't put out any content over there, just be on standby. And in case anything happened over here, this was still my original bigger channel, but I can't log in anymore. I can't log into my back office. I can't see how many likes, thumbs ups, or thumbs downs I have. I can't log in to reply to you guys' comment, the comment section. I would probably have to do it from my other channel. That would be the only way I can either thumbs up your likes or your comments. I have to do it from my other channel. When you guys see my thumbs up or whatever, or maybe if I comment, it would have to be from my other channel, because this particular channel, which I'm broadcasting from right now at this very moment, just to give you all a heads up, I don't have access to the back office. I can't log in because somehow it was tied in with my smaller channel, Dorsey's Resource Channel 2, my smaller original channel that was banned, that was removed by YouTube, because they say I was over harassment and cyberbullying. They falsely claim, which I disagreed. I appealed it multiple times, and they denied it. So I repealed it just again like a couple days ago. Again, I may see if I have to see if I can get a human review. Once I tried to reach actual people, it was not user friendly when I contacted Google. They're very biased, and you already know it's really bad. And I mentioned to you guys that whistleblower who came out and exposed Google. He used to work for them. Zach Voorhees was an engineer. Look up who Zach Voorhees is, if in case you're unaware, to show you this is actual evidence, accurate reporting I'm sharing with you all. Look up the whistleblower, Zach Voorhees. Zach Voorhees is his name. And he used to be an engineer for Google. And he was SWAT teamed when Google retaliated against him for exposing what they were doing and what they were planning. And they had him SWAT teamed, by the way, and blacklisted, and attacked him. So constantly keep him in your prayers. But they went after Zach Voorhees, by the way. He came out as a major whistleblower. Shows you how evil Google is. ROT says they've been trying to get Alex Jones out this realm for years. Yeah, but I'll say don't take it for granted though. When I went over the things that are imminent, it says Bill Cooper hated AJ. Yeah, I think I was aware of that, but I just used that as an example. Similar concept. Many other whistleblowers, even Phil Snyder years ago, who was a structural engineer that exposed the underground facilities, things that he had worked on, some of the grays, the alien stuff like that. Look up Phil Snyder if his videos are still available. Don't know if they are. You might have to find him on other platforms like BitChute, Rumble. If they are out there, look up Philip Snyder, who was had a secret security clearance. He was a structural engineer for the deep state years ago and came out as a whistleblower. He had lectures, by the way. Phil Snyder. Wednesday Adams says, watch Europe, The Last Battle. Ron T says, yes, email it. I would say check the description box of my previous videos. If you want to find out what my email address is, don't worry about that consultation information. I can't log in and change or update any of that information, folks. I haven't had a consultation in over a year, by the way. So just email me. If you want me to send you that particular video, just let me know up front. I'm going to plan on sending it out to some people anyway. Alex gives a really good breakdown as far as what the deep state, what they're planning. So if you guys want me to send you that, just let me know. Check the description box. If it's not in this video, my previous video, check the email at gmail.com. Should be j279dorsey@gmail.com. The letter J is in John, 279dorsey@gmail.com. If you want me to send you that particular video from Banned.video, but it's a powerful one where Alex Jones, he gives you the war game, the script, very descriptive, informative, and tactically, if you follow, what's that guy? Trying to think, that guy that has that channel that gives Lawrence Patriots, Black Scout Survival or something like that. It's on that level that you want to get prepared. I'm just putting a warning out there.
CQB, CQC. Be prepared, especially if you're in the top or higher. Extra security. He mentioned a lot of the top people. They're also messing with them, doing different things behind the scenes. They harass people as well. They're cyberbullying, gang stalking, blacklisting, the whole 9 yards. Just like you were hearing how they cancel people's bank accounts, stuff like that. They're gang stalking a lot of these people. So if you need to hire extra security, if you know you're famous, or if you feel like you're going to be targeted, you may want to train CQB, close quarters combat, CQC, close quarters combat, CQB, close quarters battle. The alarm has already been sounded, but get prepared, get dug in. This is imminent. This is not a joke. This is really real. This is similar along the lines of Black Scout survival. Warning, they are planning World War III. We already know this World War III is being planned because young men are receiving selective service notifications already. They may cancel the 2024 election once again. Can't say this for sure. Remember, they have many different tricks up their sleeve. By the way, they can blame a manufactured EMP strike on Russia. They're planning power outages, food shortages. That's already been happening, by the way, food shortages. Cyber attacks, false flag attacks are imminent. New disease, viruses, lockdowns. They want new lockdowns. This is all, and Russia said it will retaliate. So you're also facing potential intercontinental ballistic nuclear warfare. That is a real imminent threat. That is a real actual threat. A globalists already have bonkers. I mentioned Mark Zuckerberg. There's others that have their pockets are deep. They're getting prepared. So just take this as a notice. They want Alex Jones out the way because just like in 2018 when they cheated in the midterms and they put politicians in as intelligence officers, they didn't want him reporting on the information. They wanted him out the way, but they don't want him reporting on what other evil they have planned. These evil doers behind the curtain, and they have minions, underlinks, and gatekeepers below them. That are in place. Just keep that in mind. So we even though I know we have to be out in the open, but this is how you have to get imminent. It's imminent because the deep fakes, the shields out there, the gatekeepers and minions will try to steer you away. And some were already trying to say they weren't shutting him down, and they're in the midst of it, folks. It's imminent, and it's a reason why they want him out the way. And these are some of the reasons why I don't normally, I don't go live as much. I haven't been going live lately as much, you guys know, unless it's something important. And that's why I felt the need to do this video and give you all a heads up. This is serious. And also, I keep forgetting, Jones also mentioned a financial collapse. They're planning a financial collapse as well, a crisis. That's in their cards, just like connected to the food shortages that have been happening. I hear there's a massive shortage of food banks across the country. That's not a coincidence, folks. Look what happened with the pandemic, what that caused when that was brought in. So we know this, so get prepared. Let me see. Let me read this other. Says, do you think Trump is just control opposition? He does have Zionist ties and push the jabs. No, I don't think that he's controlled opposition, for the fact that if you go back over this video, what I said earlier, and I explained, I don't know what point in the video that you just joined, and I explained him not being part of the establishment, why overall he's the better option when you have to pick a lesser of two evils. If you feel that way, Phil, he's the better option overall, in my opinion. Biden, Obama, Hillary, all those people are heavily tied in with the deep state. There's things that Trump was doing. There's things that if Trump was in office now, he would not allow. Things that we know he would not stand for. But remember the difference, as I explained earlier, we also found out his, because Obama put a stay behind network in. William Barr, Trump's attorney general, was working against him. The Fred Flintstone looking guy, William Barr. If you guys remember William Barr, he shut down the voter fraud investigation. His own attorney general, folks, shut it down while he was sitting as a sitting president. Think about that. These people did things the equivalent of the Secret Service agents that turned on John F. Kennedy, by the way. Remember, I found out this has been declassified. The United States Mafia worked with the Secret Service to kill John F. Kennedy. Research it, look it up. I'm going to go and say this is a fact if you research it. Let me say it again. The mafia, Italian mafia, mob worked with the United States government. That was the equivalent of the deep state during that particular time period in the 60s, worked to kill John F. Kennedy during that particular time period. By the way, research it. They had multiple assassins, multiple shooters. So these are evil folks that we're dealing with, by the way. Very evil. ROT says, I don't believe anything the mainstream media says. Yes, the corporate media, yep, absolutely. Wednesday Adams says, thumbs up. Appreciate you. Yeah, let's get the likes up if you can, folks. Make sure you smash that like button. You get this video out there. You share this video far and wide. Make sure share it with your family members, your relatives, your friends. You warn them. This stuff is not no joke. We got to get prepared, by the way. Ronnie says, a lots of prophets said Trump would be the last president. A lot of prophets. I wouldn't be surprised. Yes, I would not be surprised. Wednesday Adams says, Fred Flintstone. Yep, that's William Barr. He looks like Fred Flintstone. And what's the guy, that Jack Smith guy that's going after Trump? I told a friend of mine, he was cracking up. He looks like Zod from the Superman movie that played in Christopher Reeves. Jack Smith looks like Zod from the actor that plays Zod in the original Superman movie from the 80s. 70s going into the 80s that Christopher Reeves played in. If you remember that actor that played Zod, that's who Jack Smith looks like. Remember that other guy that was going after Trump looked just like him too, by the way. So these people are funny to me. Let me see. Says Trump could have fired Barr, but he was too worried about what the public would say. Yeah, remember it was a lot of operatives. Remember they have operatives that were put in place, the people that were supposed to help him choose his candidates, because they were all embedded deeply when Obama implemented the Stay Behind network and had his own operatives basically in place. And remember when Jeff Sessions recused himself? You guys remember that? Some of the operatives said, "Hey, they didn't even want to be in the middle of it, the midst of it." They really showed who was members of the deep state. It showed their true colors, and it's the reason Obama went after General Flynn as well. If you know about the situation with General Flynn, General Flynn should have been in from the get-go, and he would have helped get rid of a lot of those people. By the way, if he had General Flynn. And years ago, I was informed, if you guys know the story, when the government, when they brought drugs in the country, that the deep state was even involved with bringing drugs in. I found out allegedly it was a military general that came across or found out about the operation and was killed, allegedly murdered. Now, I don't know about what military base or where this happened at. And there's some other instances I can go into. There was a situation with one of the guys that exposed Bill Clinton back in the 90s, was targeted. What happened was there was a missile that was launched at a particular home. And fortunately, no one was home, but they didn't hit the house, but they hit this guy's neighbor's house. I was told this story by someone who was older than me, to show you this is how evil they are. They will kill, and they have a plan. Jones breaks down in this video when they're going to plan on or trying to assassinate, but we're close to that time now. That time is imminent when they're going to start, because they can, the deep state, the evil cabal, they don't have a time period when they plan to murk somebody or do wet work. Remember what was said by John Podesta when they got rid of Justice Antonin Scalia. Remember, that was another thing Obama was real fishy during Obama's administration. What happened to Justice Antonin Scalia? Obama got a lot of explaining to do. And then what John Podesta was caught when the Pizzagate scandal came out and the emails and stuff, when they talked about wet work. Wet work, that's a cold term. And they did wet work on former Justice Antonin Scalia. Rest in peace. You a true patriot. And I heard about some of the presentations he gave to his college students where he was warning them about tyranny coming. See, folks, they're also trying to infiltrate. They infiltrated different branches of the government to subverge and circumvent. They're really the subversives. Hillary Clinton talked about subversives. The deep state, the criminal cabal, they are the subversives. And I just explained to you how through a basic language, not just the free Masonic network, but there's different, many different fraternities, sororities, other high-level secret societies where they communicate amongst each other. They have emblems, secret hand gestures. Look for secret sign languages. Remember, they can communicate, so they're going to protect each other in many cases, even for crimes they've committed. That's why it's hard to clean up this corruption. I was telling a friend of mine, talks about to identify who the real enemies are. Why these other people have committed crimes far worse than Trump, but they're still scot-free. But they won't address this. But you do have a Freedom Caucus that's trying to fight to restore justice, but unfortunately they're outnumbered because the deep state is so criminally embedded all across many members of our Congress, by the way. So it is very difficult to try to restore balance and restore true justice, to get proper officials to go after the people and prosecute them for the crimes and stuff, for legitimate stuff that has been committed by the evil ones, the evildoers. Notice, why is the evildoers being protected, getting away with a lot of stuff? Something to think about, by the way. Just saying. Says they did threaten Trump family. Yep. Yes, they did. I heard about that. It says Q really misled a lot of people. I think some of it was true. He was saying, well, I kind of stay away from that whole Q thing because the nature of it. But however, I've heard allegedly, just throwing this out there, that there was a military intelligence agency or group that was referred to as Q. You also had separately a department within the National Security Agency referred to as Q. So I do hear there was actual people, but I don't know what's going on with that. And because certain things didn't manifest, but I think it's the timing of certain things. But I wouldn't be surprised. I'll say this. It wouldn't surprise me if at the last minute, just when you think, something's not going to happen, that they may, they could show up. I wouldn't be surprised. Something like that wouldn't surprise me. But I'm not saying that it is going to take place that way. I don't know. But I kind of stay away, because you always, that what the mainstream media tries to say, even when they try to point and say certain things are QAnon conspiracy theory, they try to always say that the QAnon believers or QAnon followers basically believe that there's this conspiracy that all the what do you call members of the deep state or cabal are Satan worshipers and child traffickers. Now, I'll say there's a lot of truth to that, though. But they always blow what's being said. They blow it out of proportion and don't tell it for what it really is or what's really going on. They don't tell you the real meat and potatoes behind what's really happening. They always make it out to be it's a right-wing conspiracy theory. They say something outlandish, like they always want to paint people who bring up Q as conspiracy theorists, or say, oh, there's people that believe that Pizzagate or that our government is ruled by pedophiles and Satan worshipers. But I'm gonna tell you, out of a lot of stuff that's happened, wouldn't you think there's a lot of truth to that? For the fact that you look at Jerry Sandusky going back to Penn State, look at Jeffrey Epstein, look at what was going on with the Harvey Weinstein situation. Look what's happening with all this information that's coming out with P. Diddy. Look at the Nexium Hollywood sex cult. Where the actor Allison Mack pled guilty. There was other people who were involved in that. That was public information. Remember the guy that used to do the Subway commercials? What's his name? Jared Fogle or whatever. That guy. Remember, he went to jail for that. He's serving serious time dealing with that. Remember Anthony Weiner's laptop? That whole situation. So I don't buy this thing that, of course, with the corporate mainstream media, when people are trying to report real information, they're always going to do that to try to discredit people or try to make them seem like they're conspiracy theorists or their information is not accurate, by the way. So I see the trick for the overlay for the underlay, and that's getting old. That's getting played out. It's corny. It's old. People are starting to understand and distinguish between the difference and uncover the facts. And that's why I always encourage you all to research. Don't take my word for what I say. Do your homework, research it. But I can remember actual names. You guys remember the Johnny Gosch case situation that happened, that took place years ago. If you guys know the story, look up the story of Ted Gunderson. Look up his old lectures, what he talked about. That's how we kind of understand what's going on today. What was happening back then, how they made old snuff films. They used VHS tapes. That was the technology back then. Then people were hearing about when Bitcoin earlier on, when I found out about the dark web, they were using Bitcoin for some of those type of transactions, and a guy got busted who was behind that website called the Silk Road. Because when the Pizzagate scandal first broke, they were using actual images from investigations that our own members, good members of the FBI, had uncovered that child traffickers were into. And then they started doing more research and discovered a lot of these people had public profiles on Twitter and Instagram before they started locking them and setting them to private, because people started exposing them. Like John Legend's wife, Chrissy Teigen, I was wondering why she was being attacked. I didn't even know who she was at the time, and come to find out, because she was tied in with this stuff with John Podesta, a whole bunch of stuff. And what went on with the DNC, remember what Julian Assange mentioned, the guy that was a whistleblower to WikiLeaks, they killed him, Seth Rich, who was the computer IT professional that worked for the DNC when Donna Brazile was had taken over or was in overseeing that particular situation. So folks, this element, we know there's evidence. When people say, can you find any evidence out there? There's books that have been written about the Illuminati. There's even books a friend of mine pointed out to me in a grocery store that show different secret societies, public information. And this needs to be put out publicly, because so people will know the actual truth. But like I say, to reiterate, I encourage everyone to do their own research. These are just my opinions. I did give a disclaimer, by the way, but I am very well researched and very well studied. And remember, even when the FBI put out a report a couple years ago, if you guys remember that was public information through the Associated Press, and they admitted, they said some conspiracies are true. Now, why would they say that? Because of certain things they can't deny. The government also declassifies information. Not only looks like in the military is information classified, there's also information that gets declassified after so many years. Like when we were hearing Trump was working on declassifying the Kennedy files, but they still redacted certain information that showed Bush's father's involvement with him being head of the CIA at one time. Why did they try to cover that up? And remember, Trump wanted everything released. He wanted the Kennedy files redacted because he understands, he knows. But why is it members of the deep state, or when Obama came around and came time to declassify the information, they reclassified it and covered it up? That shows you what side of evil they're on. Trump is more so on the side of good. So despite he's not perfect, but I pointed out, made a lot of points accurately if you research and point out the difference between the Freemasons, fraternities, sororities, Eastern Stars, Club of Rome, Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberg Group, the Council on Foreign Relations. Look at who their members are. Look at who the attendees are, and let you be the judge. And you can obviously tell who's working for evil. And then you have minions, underlings, gatekeepers, because they also summons CEOs of corporations, heads of tech companies, industries, agriculture, industries they want to control, medical industry, etc. All sorts of people they recruit to show you how they have to have a mechanism. I learned this from reading David Icke's books years ago. They have to have a mechanism how they can secretly communicate with one another. Remember when it was discovered with the Pizzagate scandal that Obama and John Podesta and different people were using code names and Hillary Clinton and different emails they were sending. Remember when Hillary didn't get in trouble, she had an illegal server. That was highly illegal, criminal. I forget about that. When she was running a server and vaguely admitted that she was wrong for what she did and was briefed on that, but still is out scot-free. No crime whatsoever. I forget about that. And then what's the information with when Benghazi happened? The Navy SEALs were told to stand down, and one was even killed that was trying to protect Ambassador Chris Stevens over there when they pulled that incident. Who was in charge at the time? Just ask the question. Who was in charge when Muammar Gaddafi was taken out? By the way, remember when Farrakhan pleaded with Obama to leave Gaddafi alone, and he was trying to start a central bank currency for Africa, decentralized, their own go back, but that went against the people behind the Federal Reserve worldwide, the Fed coin, the central bank, the people who want a central bank digital currency worldwide. That went against, so they wanted him out. Another reasons they wanted him out the way. Notice a lot of these people that try to start their own banking system, they get targeted or they get assassinated. Think that's a coincidence, folks? No. So I've gone over a lot of information. I'm gonna have to pull my old notes up on how these people have committed so many crimes, far worse. I forgot about that server that Hillary Clinton was running. That was highly illegal. And then she was also part of that scandal with Obama where they illegally surveilled Trump's campaign, where former CIA agent James Clapper went on CNN and said it was Obama's idea. You know, they were in hot water for that. But unfortunately, Trump didn't have the right people in place to prosecute these people because they were fellow Masons and fellow members of the secret society and deep state people. They let their people slide. They let them off the hook. But see, all the crimes I just pointed out was far worse, far more severe than anything which Trump committed. They had to make up some shit to take down Trump. Make some shit up. Declassified documents. Come on, this dude was squeaky clean until he ran for president. Then all of a sudden, they turned something that's a misdemeanor and a felony. But these people know they were briefed on things like this. Hillary knew very well she was not supposed to be running a separate server. Highly illegal, highly criminal. On a military, State Department level. And I found out that also led to 11 CIA officers getting killed in China because information got leaked out to the Chinese as a result of that. By the way, led to 11 CIA officers of our own. So it means people that work for the government are expendable too, because you're told to follow order. That's why I won't take certain jobs. I will not take certain jobs in certain fields, certain industries. No, thank you. I will not take, because I know you have to be yes man. You have to follow orders, and you can be expendable based on whatever the deep state's plan or agenda is. So that led to 11 CIA officers I hear getting murdered that were acting as ops undercover in China. And they discovered this as a result because of her actions, what she did with that illegal server that she was running. But she's still scot-free out here. You see the difference, folks, what I'm pointing out? And this cannot be denied. Now, who else is reporting on this high-level accurate information I just shared with you? Banned.video is one of the few places. And also keep in mind, he's partnered with a lot of other independent media platforms on that platform whatsoever. So you get different perspectives, by the way. And he mentioned they have a download link where you go there, you can download a lot of the videos free. It's not like YouTube, where YouTube tries to block it. It's open source. So you go there, you can freely download, and I recommend study them, learn the information he's reporting on. He shows you the actual articles he looks up. I've seen in numerous reports where websites he's getting them from, or what he's getting his critique on, just like a research paper, what I went over earlier. If you're doing a research paper in high school or college, how you have to cite your sources. Did you get this off the internet, a magazine, or what book did it come from? Who was the author? What particular page? He cites his sources. So this is accurate, good journalism, good reporting, by the way. But you're not going to hear that from the corporate mainstream media, because they're going to paint him in a negative light. They're not going to give you from somebody like myself as an actual listener. And I'm not a registered voter. So you're getting a good perspective from somebody that is a fair, unbiased perspective, from somebody who's not even a registered voter, that just pays attention, that has their eyeglasses on to what's actually happening, is getting and sharing the real information that you won't get from your bought off corporate mainstream media, or some of more of the meat and potatoes. You get it? So that's my time. I've been on here quite a while. I'm gonna read the rest of you guys' comments. I'm really get on out of here. It says they use Q to make you think Pizzagate was made up by crazy people. Yeah, that's a good point. Says Rant says you are real good with remembering names, Dorsey. Wow. Thank you. Someone my mother told me that recently, because I'm working at a school right now. Ironically, I ran into someone who wasn't necessarily a classmate, but used to go to the same school. They were a grade behind me. When I ran into him, I remember still knew him by his full name. Some people think that's amazing. I think it's partial. Well, I did research on myself years ago, to make a long story short. Found out I have a form of an autobiographical memory, but some people have it way more better than myself. It's known as a superior memory. That would be element, and it's different from a photographic memory. It's called, you can research it. It's called autobiographical memory, by the way. And some people are impressed by that, but thank you for the compliment. Appreciate it. Europa says, oh, Europe, it will blow your mind. Okay, thank you for that, Wednesday. Poppy Gold says, they are all corrupt, including Trump. Stop falling for the bait. Operation Warp Speed is proof of this. He initiated it and Biden carried it out. Well, I already covered. I beg to differ with that. I disagree with you, Poppy. I strongly disagree with that. And I pointed out very distinct differences. You can go back and look at earlier in the video as to distinct reasons. Why is the mainstream media? I would ask you, Poppy Go, whoever you are, you're not showing your real name, a real face. So it's hard to have trustful dialogue with you. At least I've shown my real face. I've shown my real name before. But when you make statements or comments like that, and I debated 4 guys recently, with several people on Telegram, not too long ago. It was actually maybe last, I want to say, winter time. Was going into this year, that Trump was not a Mason, was not a Freemason. And I said, hey, it's still my opinion. And I gave the reasons why, because I believe if he was a member of the secret society, if he was a Freemason, like Bush, or part of the secret society, or many others, or Eastern Stars, or part of high-level organizations, or part of the Council on Foreign Relations, CFR, or the Bilderberg, if he was deeply embedded and was he wouldn't be going through what he's going through. The mainstream media, I don't think, would be as biased as they are, as the way and what he's going through at this level. He would be protected. That's the difference. Because and to prove this to you, Poppy, I know who you are, but to prove this, I was gonna pledge for some of the years ago, before I knew in depth some of these organizations myself at a lower level. But there's other different secret societies as well, higher level. There's a pecking order. So unless I knew more info about you, I would debate you, but I'm not right now. Says my name and identity has nothing to do with the statement, but we can agree to disagree. No, it is important when it's statement, because I hate it when I get people who are trolls that come in and you want to have an honest debate, honest discussion. This shows the accuracy of my reporting. I've shown my real face, my real name. So if you're not a punk and you're not a weak person, whoever the fuck you are, show your real face and your real name. I challenge you to. Okay? And that's what I leave if you want to have an honest debate. But I shut that down and I defeated your argument. Okay. So come with showing your real face, who your real name is, what your job description is, so I know whether or not you're an agent. Because we got 8 people who are actual agents, members of the deep state. I don't know who you are, but I'm just saying, before you make a bold statement or you want to have a debate with me, I need you to dox yourself. That's why certain cryptocurrency companies, the leaders of those companies, they dox themselves so people know they're legitimate, so they're not scam artists or they're not con artists. You see, so someone is more believable, you're more credible when you show your real face and your real name. You see, understand that. And that's my argument, basically. So I'm not going to debate, uh, says Chestnut Checkers, my brother, says, you're lost in the sauce, fam, I'm out. Says, oh, we can meet up any day. I'm in LA. Let's get it in. Okay, if all that, okay, after the fact, but you're not showing who you are now. That's weak. You weak. Anytime you don't show your real face and your real name, you're a troll. You're a troll. Anytime anybody brings statements, I'll debate. Like I mentioned, I debated guys on Telegram. I mentioned the argument several times. And, it's just real weak when people don't show their face or their real name. And that's to me, that you're not as credible, by the way. I just see you as a troll. Okay, so I'll just leave it at that. It is for what it is, but Trump is not part of the cabal. There's a big difference between Hillary Clinton, Barack Hussein Obama, George H.W. Bush, his father, Herbert Walker Bush, that was connected to the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, his grandfather, who was connected to the Rockefellers. We can go into the history. There's books and stuff historically written accurately. It's public information, by the way. And as many people can back me on this. It says anyone can have any pick and any name. If I did that, you would think I was a real person. You're easy. No, that isn't necessarily the case. But I'm just saying, once you can also cam up and show who you are, if you're so tough. Because like a lot of people talk tough. Like I come from the streets. There's a lot of tough talk. A lot of people talk real tough, but they don't show who they really are. I'm saying, I ask you, show not only your real name, your real face, and your occupation. Because of what I go over and talk about, and I've had these conversations with other people. Other people have expressed these same type of concerns, by the way. That a lot of people that continue that they don't show who they are. They continue to rant and go on and on. Yeah, you're just a troll, nothing more. So I don't even, you're nothing to me, by the way. You're just a screen name. Alex Jones had a Victor Bout on there that said they might start the war, by the way. Okay. So I had to get rid of that troll, unfortunately. It's people that come on here talking real tough talk, by the way. But it's funny. It's interesting if they show who. I need to find out more about this person's background. Because I came across these people. One thing I'm gonna tell you, I'm independently researched. I'm not a flat earther, by the way. I found out a lot of these people I was debating. I did research behind the flat earth theory, where that shit came from. There's a lot of people who are agents, who are Masons. I need to find out if you're a Mason, what's your real name, what's your real identity, what's your face. If you're not a scaredy cat, you're not a real bitch, you're a punk, which show his real face and real name. I need to know what your occupation is, what you do for a living, if you do work. And because a lot of people are actually shills and paid off and are part of, I just found out recently, the people behind the curtain went to some different content creators and paid lots of money for people to troll and do stuff. And there was information a whistleblower came out with some years ago and said they pay people to do that. Just like it was pointed out, it was discovered the lady who started, what was that other site that was other than Fact Check? I can't think of the name of it, where they said the lady was working out of her house with, she had cats or whatever, but she was, they created to debunk so-called misinformation, but it was actually to cover up real information and also spread lies and work on behalf of the mainstream media. But that's one of the things they created fact check after that. I forget what she was part of, but people Doxbury found out what she was really part of. Says Major says Trump's grandfather was a Nazi and his father was in the KKK. Trump was uh, knighted by the Queen of England. Now, as far as him being knighted, I don't know about that. I can't speak on that, but I can say the other things are accurate about his father, but I have not seen any indication from him, because you can have a relative that's a Mason, but you didn't go through official initiation yourself. Like my grandfather was a traveling man, but I never went through any official initiation, so I'm not a sellout. By the way, I'm just putting it out there. Even though I had some connections, I didn't go through any type of official initiation. Now, I did back in college when I found out I was going to be a Phi Beta Sigma. I went through orientation for that. But like anybody, they have open invitation to tell you the history, or people who may think about joining an organization. What do you call it? Like an icebreaker, by the way. So yeah, I'm very well studied, so I can confirm those first couple things, but I don't know anything about him being knighted by the Queen. Neither have I seen evidence, but I have seen uh, images, video of former President Bush, the son, in Masonic paraphernalia, wearing the Masonic gear. And then I've also listened to Leo Zagami, who's been a whistleblower as well, that's based overseas, that also has been on Banned.video even recently. He's got videos and has been a major whistleblower and has exposed things pertaining to Europe and even how it affects over here. And he even knows some of the higher up people, what goes on over here, by the way. But you're trained in natural science. It says flat earth comes from the Bible. Mature says all branches of the military have and are hiring for psychological operations to counter social media trends. Yeah, I could see that different branches, because I was hearing Alex Jones was actually claiming allegedly that most of the military they've infiltrated. He said the police and law enforcement is one of the last branches that has not sold out. They have not completely infiltrated yet. I do know they had an operation, military operation, back around 2014 or 2016. It was called Jade Helm. I don't know if you remember that. Jade Helm, you could look it up, called Mastering the Human Domain. I believe during that time period, they were studying everything, the trends, social media, the population in general. They were running military exercises. It was called Jade Helm, Mastering the Human Domain. It's supposed to be a secret military operation. So yeah, that is accurate. I could see. But guys, that's my time. I spent a lot of time on here. I didn't want to spend too much time ranting. Forgive me for the going off on the troll at the end. We have people that try to take the energy negative, but I challenge people. If you go back and listen to what I said earlier in the video, I picked apart his debate, what he was trying to claim, that Trump is part of the same criminal network. There is a difference. There's a big distinct difference between that. And Trump was pulling the troops out of the wars. He's the only president that was keeping us out of the wars. So that guy is hell of a troll. If I don't know what his political science is like, what his IQ is like, whoever this Poppy guy, they're definitely a troll, because I pay attention to politics very well. Even though I'm not a registered voter, I canceled my voter registration back in 2004. An activist group woke me up. I credit them, appreciate them for that. At the time, it changed my life forever. I am in gratitude for that. But I'm very well studied when it comes to politics, history. I don't claim to be an expert, and I have several friends who are historians. Several close friends, by the way, and two of them, actually all three of them had a military background, but two of them had secret security clearances, by the way. So what does that say? And then I've read books with declassified information, whistleblowers. And remember, I mentioned, I went over to you guys the accuracy of the information. You guys still have to do your homework, that the government, there's also info that is declassified as well. So just keep that in mind. It says George Bush Jr. was in Skull and Bones fraternity.
Yeah, thank you. I forgot about Skull and Bones. Yep, I forgot all about it. Was founded in 1832, and that's why one of their numbers symbolically is March 22nd. That's based off the year it was founded in 1832, Yale University, by the way. They even made a movie um, about it, I heard some years ago. I never saw it, never watched it, but I saw the, you could say previews of it, maybe the trailer. It's called The Skull or something like that. Here, allegedly, it was based off Skull and Bones. They made a movie. So that is real. Chi Vegas says, peace, peace, Dorsey, in chat. Appreciate you joining. Well, you all appreciate you all joining the topic of this video. Hopefully, I sent out the warning. It was called Alex Jones on why the feds are trying to shut InfoWars down. It's imminent. Remember to go over overview. They banned him of summer of 2018. He created his own hosting platform to host other independent media, video web hosting platform. The evil deep state criminal cabal needs him out the way because they're planning World War III. Young men are already receiving selective service notifications. They may cancel the 2024 election. Power outages, food shortages, cyber attacks, false flag attacks may be imminent. Disease X virus lockdown. So if you see any of this stuff, even months from now, going into next year, just know we warned you. This is why they want him out the way. Russia said they will retaliate. We're also facing with nuclear weapons. And keep in mind, the deep state has a list of tricks up their sleeve. They can blame a manufactured EMP strike on Russia as well. Look up the Carrington event, what an EMP strike is as well. And this is why I wanted to give my warning and why I went live. You might not hear from me in a while. Share this video. Make sure you smash the like button. Go over, subscribe to my new channel at Dorsey's Resource 873. And I appreciate each and every one of you all for continuing to rock with me. Those of you all this time. And real legends never die. They live in our hearts. And may the force be with you. Until next time, peace out to all you all. Have a great, wonderful day. I'm out.